Just make sure I'm on there.
Yeah,
Already.
you're on there.
If you get right there, yeah, right there. That way they can't get past you. And you know, you can almost crowd them, but you don't want to get run over. Right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Okay, dear believers, again, this is Masjid al-Islam. This is As-Sabiqun movement, and we're here today. We're out at the Muslim Center here. And our goal for coming out here is to wake ourselves up and to help the Muslims come to a certain reality. First of all, O you believe, persevere in patience and constancy, and vie in such perseverance. Strengthen each other and fear Allah that you may prosper. What that means is that, well, just what it says. Persevere, patience, constancy. That means that we have to look at things with a long-range attitude. A long-range attitude takes tenacity, it takes discipline, it takes self-control. So we want to remind us, we're out here more to remind ourselves than we are to remind anyone else. We wish to be gracious to those who are being depressed in the land, to make them leaders in faith, to make them heirs, to establish a firm place for them in the land, and to show Pharaoh, Haman, and their host at their hands the very things against which they were making precautions. Of course, we all know the history of Pharaoh, and what have you. And this guy was a powerful reality. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to show those people who were, the Quran calls them mustadafin, those people who are considered weak, they're unable, and they are numerous in the land. So the mustadafin are the people that Allah loves, and He wants to show His love by showing the greatest power on earth at that time. Pharaoh wanted to show him and them that when Allah supports you, you support it. Then it goes on to say, the believers is but a single brotherhood. So make peace and reconciliation between the two contending brothers, and fear Allah that you may receive mercy. A Muslim is a brother of a fellow Muslim. He should neither commit oppression upon him, nor should he hand him over to an oppressor. And whoso fulfills the need of his brother, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill in his needs and whoso brings his brother Muslim out of a hardship, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will relieve him from his hardships, from the hardships of the day of resurrection. And whoso conceals the faults of a Muslim, Allah will conceal his faults on the resurrection day. Our subject today is, we open with an apology to the people of Iran, to the people of Yemen, to the people of Palestine, Afghanistan, and Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Libya, Iraq, for not speaking out on their behalf with open condemnation of the Zionist entity. And we continue. So the way we look at it is, here we are here, and we're making a little noise for the believers. But we want y'all to help us on the sideline. We're not going to say anything about you hiding in the masjid and stuff like that. That would be nasty, and we're not going to be nasty because we love y'all. I tell you, no matter what you think. And now we're out here by popular demand because we was out here last week, and some of the believers heard us, and they said, my goodness, I hope those brothers come back again next week. I hope they come back again next week because they want to hear what we was talking about last week. Therefore, that's why we're black by popular demand, or we're back by popular demand. We back because of what? We're back because the people, or there is a portion of the people that wanted us to come back. Now, of course, it's just a practice go-around. We're going to really kick up in a hot minute. Also, we want to semi-apologize for being who we are. For being who we are. Here in America, we apologize for our inactive behavior because the Quran and the Hadith, as we just read, the Hadith, you never turn your brother over to someone where that person can be oppressed by that person or by that group. We've been doing that. We never shine the believers on or pretend that we don't recognize the injustice that they're suffering. Again, we apologize for that. Okay. So we have to tell you this story today so we can normalize sacrifice, normalize striking back, normalize standing up. Don't you know we've been here so long and then got so quiet that we've developed that the disease that the tsetse fly, when they bite you, they give you sleeping sickness, and one give you elephantitis. Salaam alaikum. Elephantitis is when your feet swell up and you can't hardly walk. That's bad. Good God Almighty. And the other one, the tsetse fly, that's the sleeping sickness. And I don't care what you get bit by that fly. Call it the Zionist fly. Call it the American fly. When you get bit by that fly, you don't do nothing. You lay down and you sleep all day long. If it's a rainstorm, you sleep through it. If it's an earthquake, believe it or not, you can, if you got that sleeping disease, you can sleep through an earthquake. I'm telling you, it's so bad, you could live next door to the train tracks and the train come by shaking everything and you still sleep. Why? Because you got a sleeping disease. Now what we want to do is help a little bit today, help remove that sleeping sickness. Now you know, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to stand up to boss man, and we're not asking you to get uncomfortable. So we're going to do it ourselves. Now, that means that y'all got to kind of help a little bit. If we're willing to go out fi sabilillah, we want y'all to help us do that. Because I know you don't want us to raise the funds, prepare all the jihad material, then go out and tussle with boss man and the Zionists. Now, you know, we've been tussling with boss man ever since we've been here. But now, boss man has been taken, that's the Americans, have been taken over by the Zionists. Now, if you think of the Americans as monsters, you ought to see this out. Them boys is so bad that they just don't know what to do. All right. So here we are. We're out here to let you know that we're going to do our job with Allah's help. Okay. There we go. Let's see what we got here. All right. We want to talk about also about our behavior and what it means. Our behavior and what it means. Our behavior means that we're out here to make life easy for you. Why? Because you came here not to struggle, not to fight against Zionism, not to fight against Americanism. In fact, you came here to enjoy the fruits of Americanism and the poisonous fruit of Zionism. That's not why we're here. Actually, we're different in some ways from others. Most of the people here were not born here in America. We see a few slipping through. But those of us who were born here in America have been suffering or have been encountering 450, 500 years. It's now 500 years. 1619, that's right, 500, good God Almighty. That means just a couple of years ago, 2019, we got 500 years in. 500 years of slavery, suffering, and death. Okay, so it's our job to relieve ourselves and in the process relieve you of your suffering. But you don't call it suffering. You can also, when that teacher fly bite you, get the elephantitis, that means you can't hardly walk nowhere. It also gets you the sleeping sickness, but it also gets you other diseases, which they don't record much. What's some of those other diseases? Those other diseases, dear brothers and sisters, is out and out fear of even contacting the enemies of Islam. And so we have taken our shahada. La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. What does that mean? That means nothing deserved to be worshipped. Nothing deserved to be put first in our life but Allah. And that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger. So we're here to remind you that you're part of the ummah. You're part of the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you don't want to stand up, help us, help you stand up. You know, some of the people last week when we came out here, it was two groups. One group said, come on back, brother, you're doing a good job. Another group, even African-American brothers, said, that man is embarrassing. He's out there talking all that trash, and he gonna get us in trouble. The Negroes from here, born and raised here in America, been shot down in the street by the American system, been busted upside the head by the American system. Even some of them said, hey, that brother out there gonna get us in trouble. Trouble? You've been in trouble for 500 years. What is wrong with our people? What we're doing is we're standing up on your behalf, not on our behalf. We're trying to tell you that, hey, you can be free. You can be liberated. That's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to put you in jail. We're not trying to shoot you. But we're trying to stand up on your behalf. Now, a lot of people don't know. We've been at programs around here. And even the police in America, even the police right down at the Capitol, have looked at what we've been doing, and they give the nod, like, yeah, man, that's all right. Why? They black police. And they know what America is all about. So, whoever sees an evil, let him change it with his hand. As if you see wrong. If you're not able to do so, then let him change it with his tongue. And if he's not able to do so, then with his heart. And that is the weakest kind of faith. When we look at Palestine, when we look at Lebanon, right? When we look at Libya, when we look at the whole Muslim world, and we see, okay, all right. When we look at the whole world, and we see the world in which we're living in, right? We say we don't have an army to stop this fitna. We don't have a military system. We don't have an army. We don't have a navy. We don't have a Marines. But it said if you see that evil, speak out against it. That's what we're doing right now. We're speaking out against injustice. We're speaking about what happens in Palestine. We're speaking about our Muslims all over the world as being oppressed. That's our job. That's our job to speak out against this. Now, it's your job also as y'all come by. We got a box over there. Put something in the box. A fight costs money. If you don't want to fight, at least put something in the box. When you go by that box, that's Masjid al-Islam. We're over in the southeast. But we're not going to sit over there comfortable because the hadith is clear. If you see wrong being done, stop it with your hand. Stop it with your hand. But we don't have the hand. We don't have the military power. We don't have the force to stop the evil that's happening to the Muslims. Do you see how they're treating Muslims all over the world? Huh? Do you see how they're treating the Muslims in Palestine? And we're all Muslims. Don't you know the Quran says, Subhanallah di asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa barakna hawlahu li nuriyahu min ayatina min ayahu al-basir. Glory be to Allah who sent his messenger, his servant, to the great, from the great mosque in Medina, in Mecca, to the furthest, Masjid al-Aqsa is the furthest mosque. It's called in Islam al-Ul al-Qiblatain, the first of the two Qiblas. But do you know right now the Muslims who occupy Jerusalem, who are there, they're oppressed, they're murdered, they're put in jail, right? And if we walk right by, we walk right by, like y'all are doing, and don't even think about them. What does the hadith mean? If you see wrong, stop it with your hand. If you can't, at least speak out about it, right? Speak out about it. How many khutbahs have you had in there? Let's talk about the problems in the Muslim world and what we can do about it. No, the Muslims jump comfortable, isn't that right? They get there, they get comfortable, and they ignore their brothers. That's why the Zionists. It's only a handful of Zionists in the world, but the Zionist is running the world. That's why the Muslims are having all of this trouble. Why? Because the Muslims refuse to stand up for themselves. Right? That's what the Muslims do. They refuse to stand up for themselves. So I'm sorry, we're not going to do that because the hadith say, if you see evil, right, Stop it with your hand. Now y'all can put some little money in the box. You don't have to run by the box like it's gonna scare you, right?
I heard the voice. I had to see the face.
That's me. See, a lot of people here, they don't know that we're still busy. I'm telling you, we're not afraid of the Zionists. We're not afraid of none of these systems. And remember, they use all of them on us. They done scared everybody to death. Tell the truth. They done scared the Muslims to death. The Muslims ain't doing nothing. They sitting there and they listening to them. I'm not going to talk about the Khutbah, but if the Hadith say, if you see wrong, right? Nice talking to you. If you see wrong, fight against it with your hand. Stop it with your hand. If you can't, speak out about it. If you can't do that, at least feel bad about it. Well, I tell you, y'all a nice crew. Y'all in the majority. It's a big majority. You feel bad about it. You're just not saying nothing about it. Huh? But I'm here to tell you that we're not going to stand up or lay down for this anymore. Let me go on. We wish to be gracious to those who are being depressed in the land. That means the mustadafin, to make them leaders in faith, to make them heirs, to establish a firm place for them in the land, and to show Pharaoh, Haman, and their hosts at their hands the very things against which they were taking precautions. Now imagine, why do you think the Zionists treat us the way they do? Why do you think the Zionists treat us the way we do? And there are less Zionists in the United States than there are Muslims now. They treat us this way because you stroll right on by. You're not organized, you're not disciplined, and you're not. And why do you think they can slaughter people in Palestine? Why do you think they can slaughter people in Libya? Why do you think they can slaughter people in Syria? Huh? Why do you think they can slaughter Muslims anywhere in the world they want? It's because we walk right on by and go on about our business. Here's what I'm going to say. Merry Christmas. That's what I'm going to say. Merry Christmas. Next time I come out here, next year, I'm going to get me a big Santa Claus hat. A Santa Claus beard, too. And I'm going to stand here, or I'm going to sit here and have a little kid sit on my knee and tell me what he wants for Christmas. Why? Because we're treating Islam like Christians treat Christianity. Oh, you believe, what is the matter with you? When you are asked to go forth in the cause of Allah, you cling heavily to the earth. Huh? Don't Allah know what he's talking about? Allah says that in the Quran. It goes on to say, the believers are a single brotherhood. Ummati wasat. Ummatan wasatan. One single brotherhood. Right? That means if you hurt anywhere in the world, and I'm a Muslim, I should feel the pain. Right? If you hurt anywhere in the world, I should feel your pain. If you're carrying a heavy load, I should come by and help you carry that load. That's our duty. That's our responsibility. Look like I'm going to have to come back next week because I don't feel bad because y'all just walking by and treat me like a storefront preacher. I don't mind. So we're going to have to be back next week, dear believers. We'll be back here next week. Why are we coming back next week? Because the Quran and the Hadith says if you see a wrong being done, right, stop it with your hand. What does stop it with your hand mean? What does it mean? Huh? Stop it with your hand. That means use physical force. We don't have physical power, structure, and organization inside the United States. But then it says, if you don't have that, speak out about it. Now, here we are in America. Now, you might say they got freedom of speech. They can say anything they want. In our countries, you couldn't do that. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Every word you speak right here, it costs you something. Huh? Every word you speak, it costs you something. All right. So here's what we're saying. If you see evil, stop it with your hand. That's military force. If you can't, speak out about it. That is the next in line out of the tripart system of doing with your hand, speaking with the tongue, or feeling with the heart. We are using the middle system because that is the extent of our ability, that is the extent of our power. So we're speaking out about it. We don't care about the cost. We're not worried about the cost. We're going to keep on speaking about it. Why are we speaking about this? It's because we are Muslims, and the most oppressed people in the world today is Muslims. Everywhere you look, it is Muslims. The Muslims are being oppressed. Isn't that right? So look around you. Look around you. Look at all the countries, wherever we come from. You're being oppressed there. Who's oppressing you? Either the Zionists or the Americans. Right? Okay. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then told us to get the best of this world, al-hayat al-dunya, but akhirah also, the next world. You get what you deserve in this world, in wages, in money, in wealth, but in the next world, it is your deeds, it is the good you do, it is the things that you are working for, it is the things that you're striving for. This is where you get your reward. This is where you get your ajr from. You get your ajr for the sacrifices and the struggle that you make right here on earth. All right, let's go on a minute. Again, we apologize to our Muslims around the world. You know why we apologize to the Muslims of Syria? You know why we apologize to the people of Lebanon? You know why we apologize to the people of Yemen, Saudi Arabia, even all of those places? We apologize to them is because the Zionists come out and stand up on your behalf. Don't pretend like ain't nothing going on. Don't play like, hey, we're not out here just for ourselves. We could and we would be justified. They're killing black people in the street of America every day. They are blowing us up, lynching us up, setting us on fire. They're doing anything they want to do. But we're not out here for ourselves. We're out here because we say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. That makes us Muslim. When we become Muslims, that means we become a global, a worldwide apparatus, a worldwide movement. That means that the people all over the world who say La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah, they with us. So that's what we want to do. We want you to be with us, dear believers. Hey, we're going to stand up for you, but we need a little aid and assistance. Boss man don't like you standing out here talking this stuff to him and waking people up. When I say boss man, that means the American system, but the American system is no more controlled by the United States of America. The Zionists, the illegal Zionist state, is the one that is robbing, murdering, killing us all over the world, and especially in Palestine, and they can do it right here in America. Why? Because the Zionists control America, right? The Zionists tell the world what to do, and guess what? We must be listening. Hear what I'm trying to tell you, brothers and sisters. We got to stand up. I'm sorry, we're not going, we read the Quran and we believe it's true, right? Stand up for justice. Raise your voice for the truth. We read that in the Quran and we believe it. So we're not going to sit around here comfortable and play like, I don't know what the Quran say. I don't know what it means. Yes, you do. We definitely, even with corrupted English translations, we know what it's trying to say. Huh? But those of you who are born and raised in the Arabic language know what it says. You know what it says. Inna Allah yuhibbul ladina yukatiluna fi sabilihi saffan ka'annahum bunyanun marsusun. Ain't that what it says? You know the ayat. Allah loves those who fight in his cause as though they were a solid cemented structure. Huh? You know it's true. You know it's true. So cooperate. We're going to stand out here and take all the flack. Solid cemented structure. We're going to fight for you. But we want you to help us fight the Zionists. We want you to help us, demand justice and balance from the evil United States government. And you might say, well, you got a lot of freedom here. You got a lot of justice here. That's what somebody said. I'm sorry, dear friends. I'm a young guy. I'm just 76 years old. And I've been here in America all the time. You know, there's one thing I just haven't seen. I have not seen justice. I have not seen. Then some of the guys ride through grinning. Well, you wait till the day of judgment comes. You start grinning on the day of judgment. Let me see you. I'm going to be trying to watch you. Of course, we won't. You grin now on the day of judgment. Okay. So stand up for truth. Stand up for justice. Oh, you who believe, stand out firmly for justice as witness to Allah, even against yourselves, or your parents, or your kin, or whether it be against the rich or poor. For Allah can best protect both. Huh? It says, follow not the impulses of your nafs. Your nafs tell you to relax. Your nafs try to make you afraid, you know. Have you shaking in your boots? Huh? Not to have your eyes, the nafs will have your eyes rolling around in your head. They will be rolling around in your head. And your nafs will have you meeting in little groups behind these trees, pointing at us, and like we're doing something wrong. We here reading the Quran to you, we're reading the Hadith, and you make it like we're doing something wrong. That's not true. That's not true. Wa alaikum salam.
We have a very good relationship with our neighbors. We don't want to alienate our neighbors, so please don't do that.
Okay, no, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to come here once a month. We're going to finish this up.
No, you can't do this.
I can. This is legal. I can do this. I can do. I have freedom of speech. I have freedom of speech. Huh? No, 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 no. It says stand up. It says stand up for justice. Are you standing up for justice? What are you doing here telling me to be quiet? Why are you not standing up for justice? I can't come in there. The people, I can't come in there and say nothing. They don't want, you think I've been here for decades. You think that the people in there that run this don't know who I am? Do you think that the people inside do not know who Imam Musa is? That's right. You know who I am. And you know we've been standing for truth ever since we've been here. Don't you know that? Don't wait a minute. What about, I asked you a question now. Do you know we've been what have we been up to? Come on. What have we been up to? Yeah, all right. Well, what have we been up to? Have we been up to anything bad? Have we been up to anything going against the Muslims? Come on now. I want the people to hear you. The brother is telling me that to be quiet, that because the white man might get mad. Are you telling me?
It's not the white man.
The design.
Our neighbors, no, they're not talking design.
The neighbors not going to be mad. The neighbors only, look, if we do this, first of all, the speaker is pointed in. The neighbors are not going to do anything because we only come here once a month, right? And we only talk when you're coming out of there. And remember, I want y'all to remember something in the Constitution. Don't worry about it, the rest of it's bad. But you have the freedom of speech, press, and religion. That means you can speak out. You can speak out all that you want. That's your First Amendment. That's the First Amendment right that you got. Not to vote or run around the corner naked. First right you got, dear believers, is what we're doing right here. If Martin Luther King didn't speak out, where would black people be? Huh? If Malcolm X didn't speak out, where would we be? If all our heroes laid down and didn't speak out and made people a little uncomfortable, huh? This is not making the people over here uncomfortable. It is making the people inside uncomfortable. Boy, I tell you, dear believers, the harder you try to do good, the harder you try to do right, the Americans don't try to stop you. The Muslims do. My goodness. The Muslims come out and jump up and down. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a commercial break for a few minutes. So y'all go in and then you come out. It's a commercial break. But we're not trying to escape. We didn't survive 503 years of America, right? Slavery, suffering, and death. And we're not going to take no break. So if you want a break, you can take one. We're going to take a break, but it ain't going to be long. Thank y'all very much. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. You could put that on pause if you want.